Have you ever had that feeling deep down that there's just so much more to reality than what our everyday senses reveal?
Oh, absolutely. Or maybe a sense that, really monumental changes are not just on the horizon, but maybe happening right now.
Exactly. And what if there was a cosmic council, maybe from a galaxy far beyond ours, with a message specifically for you about Earth's destiny and your role in it?
That's quite a thought.
Well, today we're embarking on an extraordinary deep dive. We're looking into a really powerful transmission, apparently from Avalon of the Andromedan Council of Light.
Right. And this isn't just some, vague cosmic whisper. It's an extensive, pretty detailed message.
Yeah, shared through a YouTube transcript. And it speaks directly to what it calls beloved starseeds of Earth.
And it sounds like quite an urgent call, doesn't it, for inner preparation?
It really does.
Yeah.
And it reveals this anticipated timeline for, profound planetary transformation, specifically pointing to the years 2026 and 2027 as being pivotal.
Wow. So specific years.
Yeah. So our mission today really is to unpack this rich source material. It kind of weaves together cosmic history, spiritual guidance, and some really practical advice for navigating what it describes as a momentous shift for humanity, for the planet.
Right. We want to pull out the most important nuggets, the key insights, to help you understand what this Council of Light actually believes is happening.
And why it matters, and how we as individuals might sort of align with these changes they're talking about.
We'll explore their unique claims, their perspective on Earth's ancient past, our dynamic present, and this glorious new dawn they seem to foresee.
And we'll try to do it in a way that gives you the insights without feeling totally overwhelmed, because there's a lot here.
There really is.
So if you're curious about maybe a broader cosmic perspective on humanity's evolution, if you're wondering what ascension truly entails, beyond just a buzzword, and especially if you're open to the idea that your inner state, your own feelings and thoughts, might be actively shaping global events,
then you'll definitely want to stick around.
Yes, settle in, because this conversation, I think, is about to become truly illuminating. Okay, so let's start at the beginning, understanding the source of this message. Who is Avalon?
Well, according to the transcript, Avalon speaks from the heart of Andromeda, but not as an individual. It's presented as a collective voice, representing this Andromedan Council of Light.
A collective voice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Offering support and guidance to Earth. It immediately gives you this sense of an ancient, caring presence, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And it kind of sets the stage for a very different kind of communication, Not just data, but connection. And Avalon elaborates on who they are in a way that really challenges our normal understanding of, being. They claim to inhabit a spectrum that we might perceive as the 12th dimension.
A 12th dimension. Okay, what does that mean in this context? Is it like a physical place?
Not exactly. The source is pretty clear on this. These dimensions aren't like locations you can, fly a spaceship to. They're described more as states of consciousness, vibrational frequencies. So the 12th dimension, in their framework, represents a very refined, very expansive state. Think pure light, pure awareness. Far beyond our typical three-dimensional sensory world.
Wow. So their true nature, then.
Luminous, they say. Non-physical. But, and this is fascinating, they also say they have the ability to adopt forms when it's necessary. For interaction, for communication. It suggests this incredible fluidity of consciousness.
That's a crucial point, isn't it? Not a place, but a state of being.
Yeah.
Fluid. And what really grounds their message, for me anyway, is this extraordinary claim. They say their ancestors even helped to nurture the seeds of what would become the human lineage on Earth.
Right. It's huge. It frames this not just as some new benevolent connection popping up now,
but a reconnection.
Exactly, stemming from an ancient, long-standing, and deeply caring relationship with humanity. It almost feels like a familial bond, predating our recorded history.
It really does, like cosmic parents almost.
It's a foundational claim, isn't it? It means this isn't just a message from some distant, uninvolved civilization. It's from beings who assert this deep, ancient, personal investment in our evolution.
It changes the whole dynamic.
Completely. They're not just observers. They're positioned as integral, maybe unseen participants in our story right from the start.
Which gives immense weight to what they're saying now about our past and our future.
Precisely. Their connection to our genesis, if true, makes their current observations and warnings feel incredibly significant.
So that deep connection, that sort of parental vibe, it really sets the stage for understanding their take on Earth's history. especially this part they call the long night of separation, how Earth lost its way. Before things apparently went off track, what was this original vision the Andromedans held for Earth? Was it like a standard plan or something unique for us?
According to Avalon, it was a beautiful vision, specifically for Earth. A destiny meant to unfold in harmony with, get this, many cosmic civilizations of light.
Wow, so connection was the original plan.
Yes. Not isolation. It wasn't just some generic template. The source implies it was a specific grand plan for a golden age. And this age was supposed to be fostered by active cooperation between Earth and a wider benevolent galactic community.
So like the United Nations,
Yeah.
galactic.
And actually working.
Sort of. Imagine a world deeply integrated, thriving through interspecies collaboration, shared wisdom, mutual evolution. It sounds like Earth was meant to be this vibrant, multi-dimensional hub.
A hub within a larger cosmic tapestry. That makes the idea of separation even more a little tragic.
Exactly. It highlights what was apparently lost, or at least postponed.
So what happened? The message describes this dramatic shift. It talks about low vibration forces taking over and effectively sealing portals that once connected your world to our stellar enclave. What does that mean? Sealing portals?
Yeah.
And who are these low vibration forces? Well, the message doesn't give specific names in this part, but it describes these forces by their energy signature. Low vibration, think energies rooted in fear, control, separation, limitation, anything that diminishes light and connection.
Okay, so negative energies, essentially.
Right. These denser influences thrive in lower frequency environments. And the sealing of portals, it's not like locking a physical door. It's described as an energetic disruption, a kind of vibrational shield, or maybe interference.
Oh, okay.
That effectively blocked Earth's access to the higher frequencies and the benevolent guidance it supposedly once enjoyed. It created this energetic barrier, isolating Earth.
Like a cosmic quarantine, but imposed by these denser forces.
You could see it that way. It cut Earth off from its cosmic family and its original intended path, allowing these denser fear-based patterns to become dominant within human consciousness, within our societies.
So it's an energetic blockade?
Yeah.
And the consequences. The message says they were immense. Humanity's path diverted into denser realms, losing access to higher guidance, to our own higher potential.
It states that humanity's innate multidimensional consciousness was confined within a dense web of illusion and limitation.
What does that mean practically? Our multidimensional consciousness being confined, how would that show up in, everyday life?
That's a really crucial question. The message suggests our natural state, as beings connected to a much broader cosmic awareness, was severely suppressed.
Right.
Practically, this confinement would manifest as a profound limitation in how we perceive reality. Instead of being naturally aware of multiple layers of existence, subtle energies, maybe our own intuition, or even telepathic abilities,
We got stuck.
pretty much stuck in a rigid, three-dimensional, purely material understanding of the world. Our innate connection to our higher self, to spirit, to other beings beyond Earth largely forgotten, or dismissed as fantasy, right?
Absolutely.
So it resulted in relying on external validation, feeling separate from each other, separate from the divine, focusing on survival in what seemed like a competitive, scarce world. Essentially, living behind a veil that distorted our true nature and potential.
That really reframes so much of human history and struggle, doesn't it? Not as some inherent flaw, but maybe as a result of this interference.
It does. And the message also conveys the emotional impact on the Andromedans themselves. Avalon says, "It caused us great pain in the heart to withdraw when the interference increased."
So they didn't just abandon us.
No, they clarify that. They waited, it says, for the right time to reconnect, which they believe is now or arriving very soon.
Wow. Okay, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, it suggests our current state isn't how things were meant to be. It's a temporary detour, maybe a very long one, but still a detour from a grander cosmic plan.
Exactly. And that raises a huge question for all of us, doesn't it? What does this mean for how we see our history, for the stories we tell ourselves, and, importantly, for our potential?
Right. If our current reality is a limited version,
it implies there's this immense, untapped potential for humanity to reclaim. It offers a new lens. Our challenges aren't inherent failures. Maybe they're just obstacles we can now overcome as this interference supposedly lifts.
that's such a powerful way to reframe our whole human story. Not inherent struggle, but a temporary detour. And it leads right into the next big question. If this potential is untapped, and if this interference is lifting, what's our role? How do we actively participate in getting back on track? And the message doesn't just leave us hanging there. It shifts right into practical steps, what it calls personal preparation for planetary shift. It really shows how our inner world is like the front line of all this.
Absolutely. It brings it right down to the individual level.
So what's the first step they emphasize for this inner awakening? Especially regarding ascension and revelation.
Okay, this is crucial. The message emphasizes that revelation and ascension are not separate. They're intertwined, meaning it's not just about waiting for some big external event, like ships landing or a global announcement. It's described primarily as an inner awakening, an inner shift that actually precedes and makes possible any outer revelation. And it's important to understand their definition of ascension. It's not about physically leaving your body or going somewhere else.
Right.
It's fundamentally about raising your internal frequency, integrating higher states of consciousness while you're still here, embodied on Earth.
So shedding the density, the fear, the limiting beliefs, the emotional stuff.
Exactly. Shedding those layers we accumulated, which allows our inherent multidimensional nature to sort of reemerge. So it's less ascending to somewhere else and more ascending within, and letting that inner shift transform how we see our current reality.
An internal upgrade while staying right here.
Okay. And how do we achieve that? The message says there's a vital need for minds to become clear and receptive and hearts to find clarity. It says overwhelmed thoughts and unhealed emotions create a fog that blocks higher communication. That doesn't sound just like poetry, does it? It sounds quite practical. How does this fog actually block things? Think of it like trying to tune into a really subtle radio station, but there's loads of static.
Okay.
That fog, the constant worry, the mental chatter, the overthinking, and the unhealed emotions, old traumas, resentments, anxieties, and they create this dense, energetic field around us, internal static.
Right.
And this static literally prevents us from receiving the insights or the higher frequencies that the message says are always present. It makes us less receptive to our own intuition, to subtle guidance, to those vibrational messages they say are constantly being sent.
So it lowers our frequency, making it hard to even perceive this other stuff.
Exactly. It makes it difficult to resonate with or even notice higher states of consciousness or communication.
So step one is clearing that internal static. The message encourages us to imagine the wisdom your own heart would speak if your inner vision were free of doubt and chaos. It suggests there's this reservoir of divine discernment inside us.
Waiting to be accessed once the clutter is gone.
This idea that external changes mirror internal shifts. It's so powerful. How directly do you think achieving that inner peace impacts our ability to connect with these higher frequencies they talk about?
Well, the message presents it as the direct link, the prerequisite almost. If our internal world is chaotic, our perception of the external world will always be filtered through that chaos, right?
Makes sense.
But as we cultivate inner peace, that static clears up. Our antenna gets clearer. We start to perceive subtle energies, intuitive nudges, synchronicities that we just overlooked before.
And that clarity lets us tap into that reservoir of divine discernment.
That's the idea. Our innate ability to distinguish truth from illusion, to feel what resonates with love and unity versus what comes from fear and separation. It's a call to individual responsibility, not waiting for external salvation, but doing the internal work, the purification, which then helps the collective shift.
Highlighting the power of each person's journey.
Absolutely. It influences the whole.
Which leads perfectly into the next part. Cultivating inner harmony. Practical steps for raising vibration. The message frames challenges, even big ones, not as permanent blocks, but as temporary. The universe is gently calling everything back to balance, like a symphony returning to its central melody. That's a hopeful image.
It really is. It suggests any imbalance, personal or global, is just part of a natural correction process, not the end of the story. And the invitation is to actively align ourselves with that return to harmony.
Wow.
The message details how we can enter a pure version of yourselves by gently releasing what no longer serves us. It says, a truly unencumbered soul naturally attracts the higher guidance and communion we so desire to share.
An unencumbered soul, what does that mean? Perfect.
Not necessarily perfect, more like light, free from the heavy emotional and mental baggage. You know, the old stories, limiting beliefs, unexpressed grief, all that stuff that weighs us down. It's about creating space for the new.
Shedding the excess baggage, yeah. Making ourselves lighter so we can rise, like releasing ballast from a balloon. And the message draws a direct link. You mold reality through your state of being. By elevating your inner resonance, you become a beacon that influences matter and events. And this supposedly leads to surprising shifts in your daily lives, synchronicities, healings, opportunities, and connections.
It's not just about feeling better internally, it's presented as actively shaping your external world through that inner state.
Can you give a more concrete example? How does my state of being actually influence, say, an argument I'm having?
Okay, yeah. This is a core teaching, really, but they give it a very practical spin here. Imagine the energy you put out when you're centered in gratitude versus when you're stewing in frustration.
Very different vibes.
Totally. The message says your internal vibration literally acts like a force field, attracting or repelling experiences, and it offers a specific technique. Try this the next time you encounter friction or conflict with someone.
Okay, what do you do?
Instead of reacting automatically with anger or defensiveness, you consciously stop, breathe, and deliberately align yourself with a higher frequency, like love, patience, compassion, whatever feels right.
Then
Just observe how this softens the moment. By shifting your internal state first, your calm, loving energy can actually start to transform the interaction. Not by force, but by resonance. You change the energy field and the interaction shifts.
That's a brilliant, tangible example. How an elevated inner state can reshape outer reality right in the moment. It makes it feel less abstract, more doable.
Exactly. It gives you agency, even in difficult moments.
And it goes further, saying love that flows through your heart is far more potent than any claim of being right, suggesting there's a higher truth beyond individual opinions, the truth of unity and understanding.
Which is a big ask sometimes, isn't it? To let go of being right.
Totally. It transcends that ego-driven need, pushing towards empathy and connection instead, valuing the relationship over winning the point.
Which is a sign of real emotional maturity, I think.
Definitely. And the message reminds us that everyone is engaged in an evolutionary dance of growth. So forgive yourself, forgive others, move forward lightly, knowing that evolution is the natural course of life.
That compassion extends inwards too, letting go of past mistakes, rigid self-images, becoming lighter, more adaptable.
It encourages constant, gentle refinement, not harsh judgment. Okay, building on that, the message advises a practical and methodical approach in your daily life to anchor the new energies.
Right, it's about grounding these big ideas.
Yeah, looking at your immediate environment,
Yeah.
your home, routines, lifestyle, making your life reflect your inner intentions.
It's not just about meditating for an hour and then going back to chaos, right?
Exactly. It's about making your whole life the practice. The message suggests listing desired changes, prioritizing them, tackling them one by one with a clear intention and love.
Simple examples like decluttering a room.
Yeah, or starting a morning meditation habit, spending time outdoors. It stresses that small, consistent steps lead to profound transformation. It really brings the cosmic down to earth, showing how mundane choices support these big energy shifts.
Well, that ties into simplifying, conserving resources, detaching from excess belongings, habits, or beliefs that no longer serve you.
Why is attachment so important here?
The idea is that clearing internal and external clutter makes space for new blessings to enter. It's about creating energetic white space in your life. Physically, mentally, clearing out the old makes room for higher frequencies, more aligned experiences.
So it could be cleaning out a closet or letting go of an old grudge.
Both. Anything that frees up energy, and it's not a one-off thing, the message emphasizes a daily practice. Cleanse your inner slate. Is your space clear for new light? Like daily maintenance for the soul.
Preventing stagnation, keeping the channels clear.
And there's this beautiful analogy they use. Creation dwells within you, beloveds, and you hold the painter's brush in your hands. If you want a new picture, you must begin to paint it with intention. It really underscores our active role. We're not just waiting. We're invited to be conscious co-creators.
Which raises that important question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's one small, intentional change you could make today, right now, to start painting that new picture? Taking that first deliberate step.
It's empowering thinking about it that way.
Truly. But it's not just mind and emotions. The message also really focuses on honoring the physical vessel. It explains that these energetic changes are not just spiritual and emotional. They deeply affect your body.
Which makes sense.
So it's essential to support your body with loving care. How does our physical body actually integrate these higher frequencies? What's happening on that level?
This is so crucial and often gets overlooked in spiritual talk. The body is literally adjusting to hold more light, more refined energy. It's like upgrading the wiring in a house to handle more electricity.
Okay, that's a good analogy.
The body is both the antenna receiving the energy and the container holding it. So the message suggests things like periodic rest from constant food intake helps to redirect energy into integration and spiritual healing.
Like intermittent fasting.
Exactly. It clarifies that when the body isn't always digesting, which takes a lot of energy, it can use that energy to repair, rejuvenate, and recalibrate for higher frequencies.
Freeing up the body's energy for this recalibration work.
Precisely. It allows the body's subtle systems to process and align with these incoming cosmic energies more easily.
Okay. And it adds other practical tips. Choose nutritious foods of the earth, drink plenty of water, move gently, rest adequately, and spend time in nature. Basic wellness, but framed differently. Why foods of the earth specifically?
The emphasis there seems to be about grounding. As these higher energies come in, the body needs to be deeply rooted, connected to the physical plane. Processed foods, artificial stuff, things far removed from their natural state, they can create internal static, density.
Making it harder for the body to integrate the light.
That's the idea. Foods that are fresh, organic, vibrant with life force essentially, high vibrational foods themselves help support the body's energetic coherence. They act as fuel that resonates with the incoming light, rather than creating more work for the system.
Aligning our internal fuel with the external energies. Makes sense.
It's a holistic approach. The physical temple needs support to become a better receiver and transmitter of light.
The message urges, treat your body as the sacred temple that it is, for it is adjusting to hold more light than ever before. It really underscores this holistic process. Physical well-being is part of spiritual growth.
Absolutely inseparable in this context.
Which raises another question. How can we get better at listening to our bodies during these intense times? Especially if they're reacting in new ways.
It's about cultivating that deep, intuitive dialogue with your physical self, isn't it? Our bodies give subtle signals all the time, fatigue, odd cravings, sensitivities that we usually just ignore or push through.
Yeah, we do.
The message encourages heightened awareness, viewing these signals not as annoying problems, but as messages from our body's wisdom. Maybe it means resting even when your mind screams productivity. Or maybe it means craving fresh greens when you'd normally grab junk food.
Trusting those signals more.
Exactly. Nourishing your body means giving it what it genuinely needs to adapt and thrive, not just what habit dictates. Viewing our physical health as an active partner in this whole ascension process.
So all this personal preparation, this inner work, the physical care, it's all leading towards something much larger, isn't it? The message calls it the unfolding global transformation.
The collective level.
It talks about the collapse of the old matrix, fear, separation, and limitation. How do they define this old matrix? Can you give some tangible examples of what that looks like in our world?
They explain it as the entire structure of fear, separation, and limitation that has held humanity captive for millennia. It's not just one thing, it's the whole system. Tangibly, it manifests in economic systems built on scarcity and competition, right? Political systems that often thrive on division. Media narratives that can sow fear and mistrust. Even educational systems that might prioritize rote learning over inner wisdom or critical thinking.
So big societal structure.
Yeah, but also personal beliefs. The feeling that you're not enough, that resources are scarce, that power is outside you, that conflict is just inevitable. It's everything from global power dynamics down to individual anxieties rooted in that fear and scarcity mindset.
Wow, that's comprehensive. It feels huge.
Yeah.
How do you even start dismantling something like that?
Well, the message gives a surprisingly empowering answer. It describes the matrix breaking down, stating that as the masses awaken to the truth of their divine nature and the reality of unity, the foundations of this old paradigm are crumbling.
So our awakening is the key.
That's what it implies. It boldly asserts that institutions and beliefs built on deception and division cannot withstand the light that's now coming from human hearts. As enough individuals raise their frequency, the collective resonance gets too high for these lower vibrational structures to hold together.
So it's less about fighting the old and more about outshining it, dissolving its energetic foundation.
Exactly. And it emphasizes our role. You are the catalyst of this great transformation. You are active, radiant participants in the co-creation of a new reality.
That's a powerful affirmation. It's not happening to us, but through us.
Right. Through our collective choices, our vibrational shifts, we're not just observers, we're shaping it by holding that higher frequency. The message encourages us to embrace this moment, challenges and all, and let our inner light shine outward, dissipating shadows of fear and separation wherever you go.
Embodying the change.
Our very presence, our inner state, has a real effect on the collective field, like a candle in the dark. It doesn't fight darkness, it just shines. and the darkness recedes.
Okay, that brings us to the core of the message, that specific time frame. Earth's quantum leap, the 2026-2027 timeline activated. What do they say is happening then? Why those years?
It introduces this by saying, as the year 2026 dawns, you approach a momentous cosmic juncture, a pivotal point, not just for Earth, but maybe in a larger cosmic cycle, a culmination of energies.
And the core event?
The core event, according to the message, is a transition to a higher vibrational density, moving your planet into what some call fourth density consciousness.
Fourth density consciousness. Okay, break that down. What does that mean?
Think of it like a fundamental upgrade to our planets and our collective operating system. Right now, we mostly operate in third density. We experience reality primarily through separation, me versus you, us versus them, strong individuality, often competition.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Fourth density, as described here, implies a shift where the awareness of interconnectedness becomes much more real, more tangible, experiential. It moves us beyond rigid 3D thinking, allows for more empathy, more intuitive understanding, a more fluid reality where thoughts and emotions have a quicker, more noticeable impact.
Like waking up to a deeper layer of reality that was always there.
Exactly, but was maybe obscured by the density, by the fog we talked about earlier.
So we're moving into this fourth density consciousness. What are the practical, everyday differences we might start noticing, beyond just feeling more connected?
Well, the message implies it's a spectrum. Starts subtle, gets more profound. For example, in relationships. That heightened interconnectedness might mean you just know what someone's thinking or feeling more often, less need for words, maybe.
Wow, lying would get harder.
Potentially much harder if dishonesty is felt energetically. That could totally shift social dynamics. Work might move away from pure competition towards more collaboration, more purpose-driven stuff, as the value of unity becomes clearer.
And time. Space.
Our perception of time could feel less linear, more timeless moments maybe, or more accelerated synchronicities where things just line up perfectly. And maybe enhanced senses colors seem brighter, sounds richer, because our capacity to perceive is upgrading.
It sounds like a radical redefinition of normal.
It really does. And with such a big shift, the message advises preparing for unusual phenomena and accelerated changes. These could manifest as signs in the skies or feel fluctuations in Earth's energy field.
So not just internal shifts, but observable external effects too. What kind of unusual phenomena?
The message doesn't give a specific list, but in context. It could range from increased geological activity or unusual weather as Earth itself recalibrates energetically, to maybe unexplained lights in the atmosphere, formations that science struggles to explain. These are presented as physical symptoms of these intense energy shifts.
And the fluctuations in Earth's energy field.
We might feel those as collective waves of emotion, maybe periods of intense mental clarity, or even physical sensations for sensitive people, buzzing, tingling. But the Andromedans frame these not as disasters, but as natural symptoms of planetary rebirth.
They use that analogy. Think of a seed that bursts open before a sprout emerges. Some turbulence is natural, but it serves new life.
It emphasizes that ancient structures in your world must break apart to reveal a more luminous reality. It reframes any chaos as necessary for new growth.
What ancient structures are we talking about breaking apart?
Those elements of the old matrix, the deeply embedded systems and beliefs that don't serve our higher evolution anymore. Corrupt political systems, exploitative economic models, fear-based media, rigid dogmas, scientific or religious, that deny deeper truths.
And how do they break apart? Does it have to be violent?
Not necessarily. It could be a loss of credibility, widespread disillusionment, an energetic dissolution as our collective consciousness just rises above them, like a facade crumbling because nobody believes in it anymore. The seed bursting isn't destruction, it's transformation making way for the sprout.
Planetary growing pains.
Okay.
And through all this potential turbulence, the message stresses staying centered in your heart, observing events with the eyes of love and curiosity instead of panic.
That's the key guidance, isn't it? Maintaining internal stability when everything outside feels like it's in flux.
Absolutely. This isn't just some vague prophecy. It gives a time frame, talks about a profound shift already underway. The idea of our planet moving into a new dimensional awareness. It impacts everything. What stands out most to you about this radical idea?
For me, it's how much emphasis it places on our internal response. It's not about fighting the collapse, but about building and embodying the new reality from within. That our inner work becomes the primary navigation tool through whatever external changes come. It's a profound shift in focus.
Definitely. And the message provides more guidance on navigating this, under navigating the shifting realities, discernment, and support. It actually says a galactic team is assisting you and Gaia.
And that many starships have taken position around your globe, forming a network of higher light.
What's the purpose of this network?
Apparently to help buffer and smooth out the intense incoming cosmic energies, making the transition more manageable for the planet and for us. It implies these benevolent beings are actively working behind the scenes to mitigate the really disruptive effects.
And it even mentions unusual lights or objects in the sky could be signs of these benevolent presences in action.
Right. So what some might see as UFOs or UAP, this message frames as signs of assistance, not threats, not just curiosities, but active support.
That puts a totally different spin on things, doesn't it? If we're meant to interpret those phenomena through this lens of a cosmic support system,
right,
how does that change how we approach, say, scientific observation or media reports?
It demands a huge paradigm shift, really. Traditional science, relying on physical proof within existing frameworks, might just dismiss or misinterpret things that are primarily energetic or interdimensional.
Right.
And media, often driven by fear or sensationalism, could easily misrepresent benevolent presences. The message really pushes us towards using inner discernment. If these are signs of support, then an open heart and intuition become more valuable tools than fear or rigid skepticism. It calls for a more holistic, consciousness-based way of looking at things.
Intellectual flexibility, yeah. The message does acknowledge navigating this corridor of fourth density can be turbulent. The advice is still to remain grounded and calm, and also to extend care to the earth. Prayer, meditation, gentle actions.
But crucially, it also warns about mixed messages or even deliberate distortions in your media and communities. It states flat out that some narratives intend to amplify fear or sow confusion, calling it the last clamor of the old paradigm trying to maintain itself.
That's a critical warning. Be discerning about all information, especially now.
Exactly. It's not just the events, but the stories about the events we need to watch. It's like a battle for consciousness.
And the antidote. The message emphasizes, it is now imperative that you trust the inner knowing that has always lived within you. It says, in the silent sanctuary of your hearts, truth whispers. Your intuition, your soul's voice, that is your reliable compass.
And it gives that fantastic discernment tip. If information triggers only panic and helplessness, be skeptical. True guidance, even when serious, carries a note of calm empowerment. That's such a practical guideline. Fear signals distortion. Truth, even if challenging, empowers you, never disempowers.
That's an incredibly useful internal barometer, and the message reassures us we're not alone in this. Thousands of starships and countless benevolent beings are present, assisting in unseen ways.
And crucially, they will not violate your free will, but will strengthen every choice you make toward love. Ending with that powerful affirmation, you are far from alone.
So with all this conflicting information swirling around and these huge changes happening, how do we practically hone that inner compass, make it truly reliable?
It comes back to consistent, intentional practice, doesn't it? The message points to those things we discussed: clearing mental clutter, healing emotions, daily inner cleansing, cultivating harmony. These aren't just self-help techniques, they're literally how you refine your intuitive channels.
Like strengthening a muscle.
Exactly. You have to use it. Actively pausing, going inward, asking questions, and then really listening for the subtle whispers, the gut feelings, the insights that don't come from logic alone. Learning to tell the difference between fear-based chatter and that calm, steady inner voice. The Andromedans are guiding us towards self-sovereignty and our knowing. Trusting our inner wisdom first. That's a big shift.
That internal reliance, trusting our inner compass. It's framed as the absolute key to navigating what's ahead. Which brings us to what feels like the culmination, the grand revelation, unity, and cosmic family. The message introduces a crucial perception on the path of ascension, the fundamental unity of all souls. Stating boldly, separation is truly an illusion.
It's a core spiritual truth, but the message really clarifies it beautifully and practically. It says, it is not enough merely to say the Creator is in that person. You must know that the same divine essence lives in them and in you.
Wow. Not just intellectually agreeing, but knowing it, feeling it.
Yes. It emphasizes that every time you encounter another soul, you are truly meeting the sacred self in another form. This isn't just philosophy, it's presented as an experiential reality to cultivate, one that transforms every single interaction.
Because it dismantles the foundation of the old matrix, that illusion of us versus them.
Precisely. If you deeply feel that connection, that reflection of the divine in everyone, then judgment, conflict, they start to dissolve. The message says practicing this dissolves the illusion until no division remains. You see only the one radiant essence present in all.
That's a profound shift in perception. It changes how we relate to everything.
And this deep understanding, this felt sense of unity, the message states, is what prepares you for contact with beings from other worlds.
How so?
Because you'll greet them not as strangers or idols, but as family, as other selves in the grand cosmic organism of which we are all a part. Our internal unity with each other is the prerequisite for harmonious external contact. Without it, we just project our own fears and divisions onto them.
Repeating the same mistakes on a galactic scale.
Right. So understanding unity isn't just nice, it's presented as essential preparation for interplanetary relations.
Which sets the stage perfectly for what comes next. A claim that's probably the most astonishing for many. The return of the ancient Cedars, Anunnaki, and Sirian presence.
Yeah, this is where it gets really specific and potentially controversial for some.
The message previews vast transformative shifts between 2026 and 2027, including some extraordinary events that have been long predicted. And then it names names.
It does. It specifically mentions the ancient Anuna and Sirian collectives, the original seeders of human consciousness some 75,000 years ago, are likely to make their presence known again.
The Anuna, related to the Anunnaki legends, and Sirians, original seeders of human consciousness that completely rewrites human origins.
It certainly does. It suggests humanity wasn't just a spontaneous evolution on Earth, but perhaps a guided cosmic project. The term seeders implies they literally planted the initial blueprints for our consciousness here. It connects us to a very specific, ancient cosmic lineage.
Okay. How might they appear, does it say?
It describes them appearing in radiant golden light, not to instill fear, but appearing as wise, loving elders who check on the garden of Earth.
Like cosmic gardeners, that's a gentler image than some legends portray.
Very much so. Their presence, the message explains, will serve as a gentle reminder and a catalyst. They come to observe how the seeds of consciousness they planted have grown and to offer guidance as needed.
So an evaluation, but also renewed support, re-engaging with their ancient project.
That's the implication, not about control, but about helping us with our next evolutionary step, offering wisdom for this shift. Their presence could apparently accelerate our collective understanding significantly.
And how might these encounters start? A big landing on the White House lawn?
Probably not initially. The message suggests a phased approach. Initially, such encounters may occur in visions, dreams, or for small groups who are ready. Then gradually, their appearance may become more open and widely recognized.
Easing humanity into it, reducing the shock factor. Still, the implications are staggering. The idea of ancient cosmic ancestors returning in our lifetime. How would that fundamentally alter our understanding of who we are and where we came from?
Oh, profoundly, mind-bendingly. It would instantly challenge, maybe rewrite, every historical, scientific, and religious story we have about human origins. Think about archaeology, anthropology, evolution.
Everything changes.
If we were seeded, our lineage is infinitely more complex and cosmically connected than we've imagined. Our destiny shifts from purely Earth-based to inherently galactic, part of a bigger family. It could answer those deep questions. Why are we here? What's our potential? Where do we fit in the universe? It would force a total reevaluation.
It's a paradigm demolition, really. Okay, this leads into embracing your divine nature and cosmic connections. The message reiterates, revelation and ascension are intimately linked. The truth of cosmic connections naturally stimulates inner awakening. It's a feedback loop.
And it highlights that crucial shift again. For too long, humanity has looked outward for validation and salvation to authorities, institutions, or distant heavens. But now, you are learning that the true source of guidance resides within.
That call to spiritual sovereignty again.
Yeah.
Moving away from external saviors, embracing our internal power.
Exactly. It's a core message, self-empowerment.
So the true revelation, according to this message, isn't just, oh, look, aliens exist.
Yeah. It's that you are far more than you imagined. It's the unveiling of your own divine nature and the understanding that you are never alone in the universe. The primary revelation is about us, about our own divinity, first and foremost.
And encountering beings from other worlds, then, won't feel alien.
The message anticipates it will be like a return to home, because on a soul level, you have always been connected. An innate recognition, not a shock, suggesting this cosmic connection is already coded within us, just waiting to be reactivated.
Which leads to this beautiful conclusion for the section. With this understanding, Revelation does not become a shock, but an affirmation of what your heart already knows.
It affirms, yes, your star family exists. Your spirit remembered, even when your mind doubted. Yes, you carry infinite light. It has been shining silently within you all the time. Ascension is this knowledge blossoming within you.
Wow. Okay, what stands out most to you about this radical idea? That the divine isn't out there, but is our very essence, and that understanding is the key to cosmic contact.
What resonates most is the complete shift from external authority to internal knowing. If the divine is our essence, if our intuition is the soul's voice, then our path to understanding the cosmos, to connecting with cosmic family, it becomes an inward journey, not an outward search.
The Holy Grail is inside us.
Exactly. It reframes our whole relationship with the divine, with the universe. We become active, conscious participants in creation, not just supplicants waiting for help. It puts the power and the responsibility firmly within each of us. Our readiness for cosmic contact seems to be fundamentally a measure of our own self-realization.
That really does reframe everything. If the divine is within, our power to shape reality is within. So with all this awareness, how do we actually live it day to day? The message turns to living the new reality, heart-centered co-creation.
Right, bringing it all into practice.
It reminds us again, as enough of you hold the frequency of unity and love, the last remnants of the old paradigm will crumble, connecting individual frequency directly to planetary change.
This is where the rubber meets the road. It describes this time as the time when heaven and earth are mixing, saying the linear, mind-led way of life is giving way to the holistic reality of the heart.
Shifting from head-led to heart-led living. What does that look like practically?
It means moving from logic and analysis as the primary drivers to integrating intuition, empathy, interconnectedness into our choices, allowing our higher consciousness to inform our everyday earthly actions, blending the spiritual and the mundane until there's no separation.
The message advises practicing living from your heart each day, focusing on the unity of spirit in all things, and choosing love over judgment whenever possible. It sounds like a constant moment-to-moment choice.
It is a continuous recalibration of our internal compass towards love and unity.
And as we align with that vibration, the message observes, the world begins to reflect that love and unity back to you. You literally call a new earth reality into existence as a projection of your love.
That's the essence of co-creation, isn't it? Your inner state becomes the blueprint for your outer experience. Not like magical thinking, but consistent internal alignment, creating undeniable external resonance. Your inner world manifested your outer reality.
Creating a feedback loop of positive energy with our hearts. But what about when old fears pop up? Because they will.
Of course. The message offers guidance. Simply return to your heart, rest in your heart space until you feel the warmth of love and the presence of the divine stirring again within you. The heart becomes the anchor, the refuge we can always access.
And it describes the heart as where heaven and earth meet, the alchemical space where lower energies are transformed into gold.
That metaphorical alchemy highlights the heart's power, turning fear into understanding, scarcity into abundance, separation into unity. It's a continuous process of transmuting lower vibrations into higher ones, within ourselves and then out into the world.
And what are the tangible results of living this way? Does it just feel nice, or is there more?
The message notes an extraordinary level of fidelity comes with opening fully to love. Moments of exquisite clarity or happiness that arrive for no apparent reason, heightened senses, spontaneous joy bubbling up.
Why does that happen?
It clarifies, this is the life force of creation flowing into you as your blocks fall. Colors seem more vibrant, sounds more musical because you are becoming more vibrantly alive. Your very cells start to resonate with this higher frequency energy. It's a physiological and energetic upgrade.
And the message assures us, when you lower your defenses and trust the flow of life, the divine power within you will carry you beyond previous limitations, encouraging surrender, trusting the process.
Yes. And the outcome of this co-creation with God, as it calls it, is remarkable. Life begins to respond to your needs almost magically. Well, synchronicity multiplies. Challenges become opportunities for joyful growth. It says everything around you is alive with consciousness and cooperating in the grand dance of your lives. It paints a picture of an enchanted, responsive reality. The universe as a conscious, cooperative partner actively responding to your aligned intention.
Wow. And in that state, gratitude flows naturally. And this deep gratitude in itself becomes a creative power. It amplifies blessings and anchors you firmly in the present where all miracles unfold.
So gratitude isn't just a passive feeling, it's an active magnetic force, a creative power, and a tool for staying present.
How can someone cultivate that kind of creative gratitude practically?
Yeah.
Especially when the world often screams lack.
The message implies gratitude is the signature vibration of abundance. So one practical way could be a daily gratitude scan. Intentionally pausing several times a day, not just waiting for big things, but noticing and genuinely feeling grateful for simple miracles. The taste of your coffee, the feeling of sunshine, hearing a bird sing, being able to breathe easily. Even in tough times, finding one tiny thing to be grateful for the lesson, the strength it builds can shift your energetic point of attraction.
Training your focus on blessing.
Exactly. Which amplifies them and helps paint that new picture of abundance in your life.
That's a beautiful practice. Okay, ultimately, the message brings us to our role in the great tapestry. It affirms you realize deeply that you are eternal, that the source of life is within and around you, and that separation was only an illusion, that fundamental liberating truth.
And the Andromedans reiterate their unwavering support. They're here to support and applaud you in this great emergence, present through every gentle whisper of intuition, every sudden feeling of joy or clarity. Constant unseen allies communicating through those subtle channels.
And it reinforces that the arrival of your star family and the ascension of humanity are part of a single movement, not separate events, two facets of the same reality that is dawning. Our inner work facilitates their outer presence.
Exactly. And the final emphasis. The plan is unfolding even now, and you are an essential part of it. This whole message, it isn't just about cosmic events out there. It's a deeply personal call to redefine who you are, your power, your relationship to everything. An invitation to step up, remember your divine nature, and become a conscious co-creator. Tag outro.
Okay, wow. Let's just take a breath and unpack that for a moment. We've really journeyed through an extraordinary and quite dense message from the Andromedan Council of Light.
We really have covered a lot of ground.
We explored Earth's profound cosmic history, at least according to this source, our potential role in an impending planetary shift, and these deep personal and collective transformations outlined for, specifically, 2026 and 2027.
And we delved into the practicalities of personal preparation, inner clarity, holistic physical care, the immense power of living from the heart, all presented as leading towards this anticipated reunion with our cosmic family.
What really comes through is the emphasis on the individual's influence on the collective, doesn't it? That the inner work, releasing fear, embracing unity, cultivating love, trusting intuition, is presented as the very engine driving this global and cosmic shift.
Absolutely. It's a powerful reminder that every thought, every emotion, every compassionate act contributes to the unfolding of this new unified reality they describe.
And remember, throughout this message, you, the listener, are presented not as some passive bystander, but as a vital, active participant. Your inner state, your conscious choices, your commitment to unity, described as direct catalysts for this new era of cosmic transparency and love.
It's definitely not about passive waiting. It's framed as active co-creation, moment by moment.
So thinking about all these insights, what does this mean for you right now today?
Yeah.
If the universe really is calling everything back to balance, as the message suggests, and if your heart truly holds that compass to navigate the accelerating changes ahead, what's one small intentional act of love or maybe internal clarity that you could choose today to activate your own personal timeline for 2026 and beyond?
Yeah, how will you begin to prepare to, as the message puts it, arrive together in the unity of ascension, not just as an individual, but as a conscious member of this emerging cosmic family? Lots to ponder there.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into what it means to be truly well-informed from this unique perspective about our place in the vast and apparently conscious cosmic tapestry.
Keep exploring, keep questioning with an open heart.
And above all, keep shining your light. We'll be here with more insights next time.